So I'm recording this video to just kind of ramble on about something. I have this, I wouldn't call this a unique problem. I'm sure many other people have faced this problem before, but I want to sidechain with multiple inputs without having to have multiple sidechaining plugins, because that just eats up computer power. I know people are already going to say, well, just use a bus, use a bus and then send that bus info to whatever you're sidechaining. Yes, that works. However, there is a problem. Let's say, for example, with me, I have these drums here, and I've got kick and tom happening, right? Now, I want to use the toms to sidechain with my guitar, but I don't want interference from the bass coming into that, which is why I have them on separate tracks. However, I would like to route both my main drums and my toms to one track just to get it all consolidated, but have them... Basically what I'm saying is, I'd like to use one plugin to have two or more different sidechain inputs with different behaviors, as I can use that as I see fit. So my best solution is just that I use Patcher, and I've got this setup going on here where I have my main input routed to split between its bands of lows, mids, and highs, which you can see here, 1, 2, 3, low, mid, high. And each one is being triggered differently based on the info being sent to it. So here I have toms routed to here, and I also have my snare routed to here. And I'll leave a link in the description to download this preset that I made. It literally just, you can have as many inputs as you want, sidechaining as many things as you want. It's pretty much infinitely tweakable, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to show you what I have going on here, because I had to make this preset when I was working on a different song, and it just dawned on me, why doesn't this plugin exist already? And I think I know why. It's just because we have archaic architectures in pretty much all DAWs that would allow for sidechaining from only one input at a time. And this is also archaic architecture in VST technology as well. But even then, like with Patcher, we very clearly have the technology to handle multiple inputs at once for one plugin. I don't know why this just doesn't exist yet. I don't know, maybe if it is some kind of archaic architecture in VST technology, hopefully clap standard can alleviate this and work with my idea here, because I really want this plugin to exist. We have the technology. We don't have to limit ourselves like this. We can utilize digital to its fullest extent and do some pretty crazy things. Like I said, this is just my band-aid solution. So if we go here, we have in here, what's feeding into my main input is a guitar 1 and guitar 2 and a trumpet, but we're not going to hear the trumpet right now, so you just hear it here for a second. And then if we open up all of these, you can see that everything is being triggered differently based on what's the info being fed into it. So we see here, this is all my tom info going into my bass frequencies, and now my snare comes in, and it's being triggered by the snare's fundamental whenever that hits. So, we can very clearly do this, and I don't want this to just be a me thing. I don't even want this to be an FL only thing. I want this to be an all DAWs thing. And I think you can pretty much do this in DDMF meta plugin, but the question still remains, why go through this arduous setup when you could just have a plugin that can do this on its own? And it already has this kind of setup within it. Because imagine this, right? Let's say you have inserts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're all going into insert 10. And inserts 1, 2, 3, and 4 are sidechaining, or acting as sidechain triggers with different parameters for different bands. And you can, let's say you can use a multiband compressor, and each band in your multiband compressor can act from a different sidechain input within the one plugin. Or let's say with a dynamic EQ, let's say that you have a bus of your instruments, and then you have your drums that you want to individually sidechain. Like, let's say you don't want interference from the rest of the drums, but you really need like the kick transient specifically for the low frequencies, and you don't want any other wash or bleed from everything else. But in the same EQ, dynamic EQ plugin, you also want to affect the highs with just the cymbals, but you don't want the wash from all the transients from snares and toms or your kicks, and you just want the cymbals alone, and you can do that in the one EQ instance. It's just something that I feel like we should be already able to do already. I don't even know if this video is going to reach a lot of people. If it does, hey, cool, maybe we can talk about this. If it doesn't, oh well, this is just me rambling. I'll leave a download link for this preset for FL users if you are so inclined to want to have this in your toolbox. I guess for everyone else, try and recreate this in DDMF meta plugin and then save that as a preset. Or, you know, you could just disregard this entirely and keep doing things your own way. Yeah, that's an option too. You're free to do whatever. I'm just really confused that in the year 2024, when we have all the digital processing that we could possibly want, and it's still limited to this, it just feels like we're being held back. And I want us to do better. That's really it.